Yeah, I was kind of getting into what I was saying, so I was even looking away from the screen. So I was actually talking for a while before I realized, like, oh, whoa, I'm.
Where'd he
Uh,
go?
so I was like, wow,
It's like
I,
dancing with yourself.
yeah. Um, but yeah, one of the things that I close with
Yeah.
is and it's a but it could actually go for a long time. So because this is huge. This is what I'm working on a little bit about. I mentioned that when I was doing my dissertation, and what I took from it had nothing really to do with my research questions were. That was just kind of an academic pursuit, which I needed to get that little doctor title. But two things actually happened from it. And one was I realized I'm a terrible listener, and I need to be more present, which is funny because I practice Buddhism. I try to be present. I thought I was present, and I found out. So that was a huge awakening, but it has helped me, that one. And the other
All right.
one was so my research was based on just uh w- people who had experienced the death of a loved one, and I interview them. And that's why that's how terrible is it that I wasn't present on such an emotional uh discussion with people. But aside from that, what I found and what I've come up with, I've kind of devised this theory. Again, this wasn't part of the research, but it spawned from it. And I'm actually writing a book right now, and it's going to be called "How to Live for the Death You Hope to Have." And
Mm-hmm.
initially, some might say, "Oh, I don't hope to die," but of course, we're gonna die, and there's better ways than not to die. So sometimes we uh, can easily identify the ways we don't want to die. Some sort of obviously don't want to be trapped in a box that's too small to lay down and too small to
Jaws.
stand up with spikes. And yeah, I mean, some of those could be almost exhilarating to go out, like you said, a romantic death. I mean, there's an aspect of that.
Hey, you want to jump in a volcano?
Yeah, I mean,
What do
I
you
mean,
want to do?
yeah, and those ones would be easily. You could do that if that's truly how you want to die. That'd be actually a pretty easy way to go. Um,
Mm.
but what I've found, I kind of have this dichotomy of like wanting to live in the present, but at the same time, that's not so practical to be functional, and where we need to prepare for the future. So I've
Mm.
struck this balance where if I have this ideal death that I want to die, I know how I want to die, and it is actually in nature, and that's kind of part of why I'm growing all these trees, so I just can go meditate under a tree someday and have life feel or death feel like a well earned rest at some point that I kind of consciously decide, okay, I'm ooh, this was a long journey and I'm ready to go. That's like
That's
my
right.
ideal death. And then of course then the themes that came up in my research were like resentment, regret, shame, that these are the conversations these people had with their loved ones. And I was like, wow, I don't want to die with any of those. Um and so we can live. So it's kind of grounds me in the present by having an ideal death. Kind of keeps me in check during times in my life when I have decisions to make. And um I'm just thinking, is that in line with, you know it, you could ask one question: is if I die tomorrow, is that the right decision? But also, the that's actually easy, and I think a lot of people do that. And a lot of people I know have they do live on the edge, and they almost expect to die, like unexpectedly. And of course, we should be prepared to possibly die unexpectedly. But then I ask the question: well, what if you live to 80, 90? And assuming that you just die of some organ failure that is natural. Are you prepared for that? And I think less people are prepared for that possibility. So I guess a couple questions are: do you have an ideal death, and do you see it as maybe having some benefit if you don't in anything to respond? Yeah.
Oh, so many. I don't fear it because prior to 1972, I didn't even exist. So I don't remember any sort of fear or pain.
Yeah.
And it's almost the same thing as not. It's just the soul moving forward, and I'm okay with that. Secondly, we're all going to die with regrets and what ifs and fears and sadness. But maybe one thing you can do is to forgive yourself because the 9-year-old self that broke a window is not the same as the man that's in their 50s. I would have done that. So you're at a different stage of life. You didn't live enough or didn't understand enough. So don't be so hard on yourself.
Mhm.
And if I do happen to live into the 90s or hundreds, I hope you extremely sedate me so I don't feel any pain. I'm all,
Yeah, yeah,
loosey goosey. Put
yeah,
some
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of goggles on me
yeah.
and just let me walk the streets of my hometown
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
But the ideal death is having the ideal life.
yeah.
And if you, I don't know what people are comparing it to or what we should accomplish of scaling Mount Everest,
Mhm.
going down, the deepest parts of the ocean, or having the most money, or I don't know what people's goals are. And I think sometimes when you get older, those goals either you didn't want them to begin with,
Mhm.
or you just start putting them off your list.
Mhm.
And so I think that the end is the peace of mind,
Mhm.
as you say, that you are ready, not that you're forced into it,
Yeah,
or you're on death row, or the ship's going down.
yeah.
But you said something interesting. You're planting these trees, and maybe one of the trees that you have planted will be that exact tree
Mhm.
that started sprouting that you will be sitting under.
Mhm.
And you created that tree for you to be at that tree compared to something that was there hundreds of years prior to you. So
Yeah.
um, I think you'll have that moment of clarity before that happens. Knowing someone like yourself, you will find peace and I hope happiness. And just remember, man, we're going to meet each other again in a different life. So, I mean, um, how do you want to spin it? As I say before, this is just a gift and it's a
Mhm.
dream. It
Mhm.
should have never happened. The fact that we're here.
At all. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, as I say, my friend, just eat, drink, and be well. Have a day of sunshine and love, and fill your stomach, and put your head down at night without worry. And if you find ways to self-respect by making a bed, or as you say, training, or making your body physiologically better, then that's another positive day. And I guess I just stopped competing for what was expected of me and what I grew up to know. And I believe in the natural way. As I say, some of the best things in life are free.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we're spending a little money today on internet and time and
Yeah.
stuff, but in essence, there's no money exchange today. It's just two friends hanging out and spending some great time together. And as to answer your question, if this were the last day that I lived, and I didn't know about it, but if it were, the fact that I was able to spend a couple hours with you today is great. What a
That's
wonderful
definitely.
day to
Yeah.
have in your life.
Yeah.
And if I can do this every single day, make a new friend and have nice time, I think you'll live better. And you're asking about, your body physically. I think if you can reduce a lot of the stress
Mhm.
and unnecessary baggage and weight and expectations that people have on you, then maybe they're not the right circle of friends. Maybe it's not the right place for you to be. If you really want to do something, then damn it, do it. Join that group, break away. The Buddha talks about letting things go.
Mhm.
And some of the greatest things people have told me is when they've gotten kicked off of Facebook.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if they still have their friends' phone numbers and email addresses, but they don't have to be a part of something that they just weren't really into in the first place. I'm just using that as one example.